Right. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kings of Fantasy Football. I'm your co-host Pablo, and here is my co-host.
Leo.
So, on this week's episode, not only are we recording on Riverside, which is the platform that we've been using, but we are also streaming for the first time on Twitch as well as YouTube. So for anyone that wants to tune in either of those platforms, you're more than welcome. And on this week's episode, we are going to be discussing the NFC conference. We're going to go over some must drafts, some sleepers, some do not drafts from the different divisions in NFC. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Um, We're going to start off with the NFC East. NFC East consists of the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. So my top five of must drafts. I'm going to start with Jalen Hurts, quarterback from the Eagles, AJ Brown. Um, I'm actually going to go with the Ricky Neighbors from the Giants, assuming that he is playing this year, and the reports have been a little bit muddled. You had Parsons saying that he is going to be definitely be playing on week one, which is CD Lamb. But I don't know, man. I think it's a little bit iffy still for me. And then the last person I'm actually going to go with the rookie quarterback from the Commanders. He showed some really good stuff in the preseason. So Jaden Daniels. So that rounds out my five. What about you, Leo?
All right, so the guys that I'm gonna go with that are must drafts, even though some are scared because he's holding out. CeeDee Lamb is a must draft. Saquon Barkley, with new running back with Philly. AJ Brown. I also agree with you with Malik Neighbors as well. Um, the I really think that Barkley's gonna have a hell of a year after all these years, uh, and with the Giants, with that Swiss cheese offensive line that he had. There was always someone in his face and no talent around him. They they have an opportunity to make some plays for sure. He has make some plays for sure this year.
So you're not worried at all about Lamb, like not even a little bit.
Not yet, not yet. If it gets a little closer, maybe like in like 2 weeks, like around Labor Day, I'll start getting wary, or a few days before. But right now, I'll still draft them for sure.
Still
Maybe
draft
like
him.
not top two, but within the top five, top three, top five for sure.
Okay. Um, I do agree with Barkley. I didn't put him in my must drafts just because I wanted to go a little bit outside the box. But I do think he is going to be definitely getting drafted this year. Um, where did Daniel Stock to you go up after this showing in preseason? At
The
least your personal.
the what? I'm sorry.
Jaden Daniel Stock for
Oh
you
yeah,
rise after his
yeah for sure.
performance.
Yeah, I have him as my sleeper. um, the he yeah the other reports, that he came blazing right off the bat with with his games, running, throwing. So he's definitely a dual threat that you want to keep in mind. You might not, like, if you want to wait on quarterbacks like I do, he's definitely someone to be like after like quarterback 10, quarterback 12, 13, around there. he's definitely someone to get for sure.
All right. So my sleeper from that division is, I mean, I don't know if you can consider him a sleeper, but I'm gonna go with Cowboys running back, and not Ezekiel Elliott. So there have been reports um, from experts saying that he could potentially have a breakout year. Um, I I'm hoping that you know Zeke doesn't take a lot of the carries, even though he's probably gonna be the day one starter. But I think Dowdle, especially with the fact that Zeke is not that young anymore, he's not the same. So I'm hoping that Dowdle can kind of come in, do well, and then end up getting most of the carries. So that is who I have as my sleeper. You mentioned that you had Daniels, and definitely agree that Daniels can do well, especially with his running ability that we saw. Now, who are your do not drafts or your do
Well,
not draft from this division?
all right, so I got a couple guys. One you kind of mentioned a few minutes ago, which is Ezekiel Elliott. I agree with you that Rico Dottle, he's gonna take definitely the most of the receiving work with the Cowboys, and and I think it's gonna be at least 50-50, the minimum timeshare between the two. But I would rather draft Rico Dottle than Ezekiel this season. The other guy I want to mention is Jahan Dotson. He's he's shown some flashes in the past. I just don't know if he's gonna be, uh, you know, like doing not much of anything this year. I like, I love Terry McLaurin more in that offense. And I think that's gonna be, obviously his wide receiver one for Daniels. But Jahan Dotson, to me, he's really been more of a boom or bust kind of a player. And I like to have people that are consistent. God knows when he's gonna have his boom game. So for me, that's why I'd rather not not uh, not even draft Dotson this year.
Okay. I kind of was actually, been looking at Dotson, debating, if it's even worth a draft pick. So that helps. My do not drafts. One is contingent upon the guy that we're talking about. Is if Lamb does not end up suiting up um, for the Cowboys, my do not draft is pretty much anyone in the offensive scheme because if you lose him, that's a bottom five offense for sure. Lamb is a good chunk of their offense, so if he doesn't play, fantasy wise, I don't think that you're drafting Jack. You're drafting any of the other receivers because I don't even know their names besides Cooks. Um, and I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball only. So I think it's very, very important that he plays. And my other do not draft is Daniel Jones. Even though I think Neighbors is going to be good, I just don't think that I personally would want to have Daniel Jones as my quarterback, um, even in a two QB league. So that's my do not draft.
Nice.
So moving on to the next division, we're going to go to the NFC North, which consists of the Chicago Bears, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions. So my top five from that division is going to be DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Love, Amon Ra, and then I'm gonna go um, with Gibbs. Although reports have said that he's dealing with a hamstring injury, but experts so far are saying that it's not too serious. But I know hamstring injuries can be prevalent throughout the season. Um, but I just don't see people not drafting him because of that. Um, but it's more of like a draft at your own risk. But that's my top five. Who's your top five?
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, so I got a few that are the same as you. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Sam Laporta, uh, Josh Jacobs, and also Caleb Williams. Uh, uh, Out of these guys, I really like all of them. I know some people are scared of Justin Jefferson because with with JJ McCarthy out for the season, but he's already proven last year with the after Kirk Cousins went out and he came back from his injury, he was still producing um like top five a receiver. You just gotta temper your expectations. Obviously he's not gonna be the number one pick like he's been last couple of years. But if he fades like fifth, sixth, I'll definitely grab Jefferson there. Amon Ra, he's been amazing since he's joined the league. Him and Goff have a great connection, and that should continue. I also want to get his teammate Sam Laporta. He's a top tight end in the game last year. It looks like we'll see if he can hold off Kelsey and all these other young bucks that are coming in the tight end ranks. But I think Sam's is gonna probably be the number one tight end taken in most drafts. Josh Jacobs, I was a little hesitant with him, but the two running backs that are behind him is AJ Dillon, that he hasn't done jack for since his rookie year. He's very inconsistent, doesn't really produce, and then the rookie running back that they drafted, Marshawn Lloyd, he got hurt. He's already dealing with injuries, so I definitely think that Jacobs is gonna get a lot of carries, a lot of touches in general, the whole year. And my fifth guy was Caleb Williams. He's the rookie number one draft pick. The weapons that he has is pretty amazing. Like you mentioned, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Dunze. He's just loaded. Cole Kmet with Gerald Everett. He's just DeAndre Swift. The list goes on and on. So he's just loaded with talent around him, and as long as they give him protection, I think he's gonna produce. And he's another quarterback. Like I say, if you want to wait on quarterbacks and let everyone draft one, you know there'll be a nice quarterback to pair him with the other rookie Daniels, and that'll be a nice whoever had the better matchup every week, you go with him. So those are the guys I like.
Now, I like Amon Ra for sure. The and he's proven, that he has a chip on his shoulder every year. Um, I've been seeing reports that Jameson Williams is supposed to be a lot more involved this year. Um, I don't think it's gonna take away, targets from Amon Ra, but I mean, if he gets going, now that's to me another mouth to feed. Like you
Right.
said, you already have Laporta. If Gibbs is healthy, I mean that's a lot of people to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
Um, so if I had to choose between him and Jefferson, who we mentioned, um, I mean Jefferson is the guy in Minnesota, and I think especially with the head coach, um, that's the game plan is get the ball to our best weapon as much as we can. With Detroit, it's a lot harder. Um,
Yeah.
so, now my sleeper um, from that division is Odunze. I think that he has the capability of having a good year, even though he is behind Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. But if either of those guys, go down or having health issues, I think that automatically catapults Odunze um, to get more targets. And from that scene in Hard Knocks, he's having really good training camp. So that's my sleeper. Who's your sleeper?
Nice. So I had a couple of guys. One is Romeo Dunze. You know, like you said, if anyone goes down, he's gonna fly up the ranks as well. You know, possibly be definitely he would definitely be a wide receiver three weekly. You know, if you know with the chance to go to a wide receiver two. Um, he's very talented. That's why he got picked in the within the first 10 picks in this year's draft. So he's definitely a good pick there. The other guy that I mentioned, I wanted to mention as a good sleeper later in the draft is Dontavian Wicks. He's a wide receiver with the Green Bay Packers. He's been last year when with Christian Watson, uh, dealing with injuries and stuff like that. He got a lot of game time last season, and he produced very well. So it like if you're in a deeper league, he's definitely someone that you wanna take a look at for sure.
Um, Funny that you mentioned his name because I saw the long touchdown. The
Right?
only thing though is, man, that wide receiver room. It's very hard for me to know who's like the true wide receiver one
Right?
on that team. I think Love likes to spread it out, but that's why he said he's a sleeper. So there's a whole bunch of experts saying that this person's going to be the wide receiver in Green Bay, and others saying something different.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to
Right.
predict. Um, Now my do not draft from this division. Um, uh, I mean, I think it's at least obvious for me. Is Sam Darnold. Um,
Nice.
I would not want him as my QB to start every week. Um, I mean, I haven't seen him start since he was in Carolina before Bryce Young. So, um, who knows how he'll do in Minnesota? He may be successful with the head coach with the team, with having some good weapons. Um, but yeah, that's my do not draft Sam Darnold. Who's your
Yeah.
do not draft?
Yeah. The only way you draft Sam Darnold is if you're in a super flex or league, because obviously all the quarterbacks get picked. But yeah, definitely as a dependable starter now. Um, so I got a couple of guys do not draft. My first one is I kind of mentioned a little earlier, Christian Watson. Supposedly all off season he's been with a trainer, to improve his hamstrings, and he's already injured his hamstring. So I'm definitely staying away from that guy. And then the other guy I'm gonna actually stay away from is someone that you want to draft, but and if he didn't get injured, I would have went with him too. But Jahmyr Gibbs, this is already the second time he has a hamstring issue within the last like 2 3 months. So sometimes those hamstrings tend to linger, and you know he's going in the first round. He has a first round ADP, and to me, that's a lot of with two hamstring injuries, you know, so close together. To me, that kind of scares me a little bit. So I'm gonna probably let someone else deal with the questionable
It's
hamstring
funny that
tag.
that scares you, but Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones doesn't scare you.
Ah,
So
I was gonna get done, man.
that's funny.
It's gonna, That's just all talk,
But
man.
okay, I see though. I understand why you would say that. Hamstring injuries are no joke. The next division that we have is NFC South, which is New Orleans Saints, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Falcons, and the Panthers. So this top five is a little difficult for me, but I'll go with Olave. Um, I'm actually gonna go with the rookie wide receiver from Carolina, and I think his last name is Leggett. Um, yeah, Xavier Leggett. Um, if he's healthy, I would also add Brooks to that list. Even though he's coming from an ACL. And then we have Mike Evans, and then we have Bijan Robinson. So that is my top five. Who's your top five?
All right, so I'm gonna go with we have a couple that are same. Bijan Robinson, Chris Olave. I'm actually gonna go little, if he stays healthy, he's already got his legal issues gone in the past. Alvin Kamara, Mike Evans, and then Jonathan Brooks. Originally I had Jonathan Brooks as a sleeper, but he is going like in the eighth round. You know what I mean? I like to get sleepers that are further back. So yeah, so Jonathan Brooks, so, he's gonna like he might miss. He's gonna probably miss the first, uh, maybe up to a month of the season. But he's to me he's more talented than the other backs that are in the
And Hubbard, yeah.
and yeah, then Hubbard's good. He might. If you do draft Brooks, one thing I will say is you draft Brooks, put him on the IR, and then you draft Hubbard at the end of the season. I'm sorry, at the end of your draft. That way you can use Hubbard early, and then when Brooks is ready to come back, you got Brooks ready to go. So that's probably a little strategy to do there. Um, Mike Evans, he's money. You know, I don't know about drafting him in the second round, but hopefully, if he's there for me in the third round, I'll definitely jump on him. Olave's, I think he's gonna have a good year, and love Bijan. So we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of experts this year really like Bijan. Um, everyone's thinking that now that Arthur Smith's gone, that he's just gonna have a breakout year. I know he has the talent, but I don't know about having a breakout. I think with Kyle Pitts and Drake London, and then you have Cousins now, they may be a more pass happy team. Sleeper for me. Um, I don't know if you can consider him a sleeper, but he was going in like the middle rounds last year. Um, Experts are not as high on Rashad White this year, but I think um, he may not produce the same as he did last year. But I mean, I don't see him falling like too far off. So I don't even know what his ADP is, but I know it's probably in the middle round. So if he's there, I would definitely go for Rashad White. He's a really good pass catcher. So that's my
Okay,
sleeper.
all right. So I got a couple rookies as my sleeper. One is Jalen McMillan. He's a wide receiver that the Buccaneers drafted this season. He's already making turning heads already in training camp. And I think to me he's gonna be this might be Godwin's last season, uh, and I think he's gonna be his replacement coming next year. So he's definitely one like a late round flyer, definitely one to get. And another guy, another Tampa Bay player is is Bucky Irving. He's a running back. He's already also making headways too, and he's very good in the receiving game. So, and he's a good all around running back. So if a couple of guys there in your late rounds, you wanna depending obviously on the size of your league and how many rounds you have, those are a couple of guys to take a look at for sure.
So do you think that rookie running back is going to be like a 50-50 split with White, or just depends on
I don't
on
know about
how he
50.
does?
I don't think 50-50 off the bat, but I think at least maybe 70-30.
Okay.
something like that, or well, we'll see. I think we'll see how it goes, but I think he's gonna get into into take away some touches from White a little bit this year.
All right. Now my do not draft is probably gonna be opposite of what you say, but I'm gonna say do not draft Kyle Pitts. Um, Everybody has been waiting for him to break out. Um, I'm not saying that he doesn't have the talent, but um, I'm not. I would not draft him to be my tight end one, where I'm starting him every week. Rather have someone like George Kittle, where you can get in the middle rounds. Even some late round tight ends, but I'm not using a high draft pick on Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
Who's your do
Yep.
not draft?
My do not draft is someone I think you said you would draft is Xavier Leggett. The receiver. I don't know. To me, out of all the guys that were drafted in the first round, I'm not sure that he should have been drafted there. You know, I think that he's gonna be behind um Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's still there, and also now Deontay Johnson is there, in Carolina. So, he's gonna be if maybe third stringer, not third stringer, but third on the target list. So to me, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from. He's going late anyway, but he's someone I'm not gonna let go. I'm not gonna really touch. Another guy that he was a sleeper earlier in draft season, but he's been making mistakes in camp, fumbling and stuff like that. Kendre Miller, that most some experts are saying was the heir apparent to Kamara. He's been making some mistakes, so when you start fumbling, can't hold on to the ball, that means you're gonna be in the doghouse soon. So I'm gonna pass on it. I'm gonna pass on him.
Okay. Now, the last division that we have is NFC West, which is the Rams, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Niners. So if Ayuk was not requesting a trade or having issues, I'm sure we can do pretty much a good chunk of the Niners as our top five. But my top five is going to be Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, Marvin Harrison, McCaffrey, and Debo. So I think because of the situation with Ayuk, I think Debo's gonna get all those targets that Ayuk had. Probably Kittle's gonna get some more love, but I know Purdy and Ayuk had good chemistry. So I think if he does end up leaving, those targets got to go somewhere. So that's my top five. Who's your top five?
All right. We got pretty close to the same. You know, Obviously McCaffrey is a no-brainer. I think everybody will want him on their team. So, but yeah, so I went with Puka Nakua, Marvin Harrison Jr. I really like Kyler Murray this year. Debo Samuel and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, he had a lot of injuries last season. Now with Puka Nakua there, he's not gonna be the focal point on opposing defenses. So, he's gonna he's he's gonna have his as long as he's healthy, he should have a great season. Finding Debo is always a beast, man. He can play running back, receiver, all over, and he makes plays. What if I could? I would love to get Kyler Murray with Marvin Harrison, stack them on a team, if I can. I haven't been able to do it so far. And all the drafts I've done this year. So, but maybe, and these ones coming up, maybe I get lucky. And Puka, he's dealing with a little bit of an injury, but they've already said that he's gonna be ready for week one. So I made him my keeper, in my keeper league that he was my as a 10th round pick. So, I think that's great value. So that's why I'm gonna roll with Puka as my keeper. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is, right?
All right. So my sleeper. is going to be the running back from the Rams, Blake Corum. I think if what Kyron Williams is not 100%, I know he's still going pretty high rounds, but I think if he misses any time, I think Corum can definitely have that Kyron Williams type year. So that's my sleeper. Who's your sleeper?
All right. I got a couple guys there. One's a little, maybe around 10th round, and then a little bit deeper. First one's gonna be Jackson Smith and Jigba. Uh, one of my don't drafts is the reason why. I'll save that for a moment. But I think he's gonna have a chance to get more targets this season with Gino there, and then the other is another receiver from Michael Wilson. He's a receiver he was a rookie last season, kind of dealt with some injuries, and with Marvin Harrison there, he's gonna get a lot of attention, and I think he's gonna have an opportunity to make some plays there. Like I said, these are more Wilson's more of a deeper league and a late round flyer, to see how it goes. That's why I think my sleepers this year.
Okay. A lot of experts and stuff that I've been following, they say that Jason can have a breakout year now that they have a coordinator who likes to pass the ball more. So I agree with that. Now, my do not draft from this division is actually going to be the um, maybe a little bit more of a shocker, but I don't know if um, Trey McBride can have as good a year as he did this year now with Marvin Harrison being there. I know they can't throw the ball all the time to Harrison, so McBride's probably going to get some of those targets, but I think he came out of nowhere last year for me, so I don't know if I'd be willing to spend a draft pick on him, um, depending on where he's at. What
All
about
right.
you?
Yeah, he's definitely not gonna get the amount of targets as he was last year. When Kyler Murray came back, he was basically his number one target the rest of the season. Obviously, like we mentioned, Marvin Harrison's here now, Michael Wilson. So, oh, his ADP, they're ranking him in the top five now as a tight end. You know, uh, Out of the guys there, he might be one I might, depending on where he falls, maybe I get him, but um, yeah, he's someone definitely to pass on if you can. The one I'm gonna go with, it kind of hurts me to say him because he's been one of my boys for many years in Dynasty. Um, but I think yeah, I think he's over 30 now, and I think since I mentioned Jackson Smith and Zimba, I'm not gonna draft Tyler Lockett this year. He's been, like I said, he's been very steady. Always between 10 to 15 points, pretty much on every game. But I think last year, yeah, he started having a couple of injuries. He's like I said, he's getting older, and he's just someone I think I'm gonna pass on for now. This year.
Okay, yeah, Lockett, like you said, has been pretty consistent. Um, Good wide receiver too that they've had there in Seattle, but JSN, if he's gonna have a breakout year, then it's probably gonna be him and Metcalf getting the majority of the targets. So, all in all, those are our must drafts, sleepers, and do not drafts from the NFC. If you tune into the live stream, thank you for joining. Since our first one, kind of hard to see if anyone posted in the chat, but we will continue to live stream during the football season. and also continue to upload the podcast to all the different platforms. If you have any questions, feel free to join the live stream next week and reach out to me on X. If you're going to reach out on X, it's going to be at ArchReaper. So ArchReapr, and I'll also be posting our Discord server. Leo, where can they reach you?
All right. Thanks again for listening, everyone. If you like the show, like us, follow us, spread the word. Trying to help us as many people as you can. If you have any questions, you can reach me on X at smooth1074. Also on TikTok. Don't do a couple videos here and there. That's at Leo G. I also write articles for Fighting Chance Fantasy. That now when the season starts, it's gonna one of my favorite articles is called the preemptive strike. That you basically do your pick up players before the games happen, so you're ahead of the waiver wire the following week. So keep an eye out for that. And also do at the player profiler news desk. Got focusing on the AFC East. So I help out with there as well. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week.